It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and the registered representative of LPL Financial member SIPC. Vicki, how about that? You are a representative.
Okay, I was about to tell you, go back and straighten that up. Representative. Okay. Oh, I'm doing great, George. Doing great. Okay. I'm again happy that gosh, it feels like summer may be coming again. You know, we went in and out, in and out. Okay. But last weekend, my goodness, the spectacular light show that we had across the country. Did you see anything?
The Aurora Boreal? No, what was it?
Yeah.
The Northern Lights or something?
Yeah, the Northern Lights. Were you able to see anything?
I didn't see anything, and I didn't look for anything either. Did you look?
I did look. I did look. In
Did you
fact,
see anything?
finally on Sunday, well, actually, it was closer to Monday morning, like at 4 a.m. The whole sky lit up in emerald green. Okay, over by where I
Really?
live. Yes, so much so that it looked like it was mid-morning and it was 4 a.m. here there in the house. Okay, but yeah, it was something else. Unfortunately, as you know, most of the central New York was cloud banked most of the weekend, but it did break early morning or in the early wee hours of the morning last Sunday evening. So anyway, George,
Yes.
I'm going to test you here.
Uh-oh.
Ready?
And just so the audience knows, not rehearsed, didn't tell me before we got together here. So
Not at all.
what you got? What you got?
All right. What is the question you're supposed to ask your congressman? What is the question?
The question is, what is your plan to stabilize Social Security?
You
Your
get
detailed plan. What is your detailed plan to stabilize? No, excuse me. What is your detailed plan to specifically stabilize Social Security? I know. Here's what I do know, Vicki. All
What's
of
that?
those words are in that. What we're supposed to ask him.
You missed one of them. Okay.
I did. What was the word I missed?
Stabilize and sustain.
And sustain.
Stabilize and sustain. What is your detailed plan to stabilize and sustain Social Security? One of the things I've noticed over the last few weeks is that more and more stories are being written about the fact that the scheduled time, or at least the predicted time, for there to be a significant decrease in Social Security payments in order to save the Social Security system in 2033. Over and over, I'm starting to see these little stories pop up across all types of news services. So I want everybody to get on the phone. I want you to call your congressman and ask that question across the country. What is your detailed plan to stabilize and sustain Social Security? Right. The sustain is extremely important. I mean, to have both of those double S's, stabilize and sustain. While we were talking about that, George, I also had some comments and made some comments that I want to delve into more today on cash, what to do with your cash, because I've gotten some questions on, well, Vicki, you told us to pay attention, but you didn't really tell us what to do. So let me break down a couple of subjects here.
Well, I thought you told, wait, so I got to push back on y'all.
What's that? Well, I'm getting the questions. Go ahead.
No, Vicki told us what to do. She says, if you have, this is the time to. So what y'all talking about?
Okay, if you have accept cash, thank you, George.
Hello.
This is the time. Okay, this is the time to actually check the rates.
That's what you told us to do.
Make sure that you were getting the best rate. But the best rate against what? Because when you walk into the bank, there are different categories of cash. And that's where I'm going to go. Okay.
All right.
You've got cash, and I'm talking about banking products here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And the reason for the banking products is the fact that when you walk into the lobby or you call your banker, they're going to ask you, do you want a money market rate, a savings account, a high yield savings account, or a CD?
Okay.
There's 4 categories. And so that's where I'm going. Everybody heard, go and do something with the cash to get better rates. But when they're making the calls or getting into the bank, the bank
is asking them these questions. So you're gonna. So So let me ask you a question, Vicki.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to break down the difference between those instruments? Is that what you're going to do?
I am.
Look at that. You see how we work this out?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well,
So, okay,
and a little known Black history fact. I
oh,
was once a banker. I don't know if you knew that.
oh, that, yes, you told me that. Okay, you started, didn't you start as a
As a
banker?
banker, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Little known
So the
Black history fact.
first thing about banking that we always think about is security.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about security that you always are looking for, and that's called FDIC.
Right.
Okay, so that the FDIC underpinning is there as far as making sure that your deposits are secure. Right now, it's up to per registration, $250,000 per registration that you are protected for in case of bank insolvency.
All right,
So
let's
we're
break
going to
that down. Registration means account.
account name. Okay,
Thank you.
so if George and Vicki are a couple, George has an account and it's in his name under his social security number. Vicki has an account, it's under her social security number and name. That's 250 here, 250 there.
Yes.
And if we have joint, that's a
To
different
another.
registration,
Come on.
different account name. So that actually in the household means 250, 250, 250.
Come on.
How you bundle makes a difference. But I'm going to make an assumption. So we're not going to make any assumptions. Everybody understands per registration now.
Yep.
FDIC coverage. What's happening is the question becomes, do you want a money market account, a CD account, a savings account, or a high yield savings account? I'm going to start with the two broad categories here in the beginning. Money market versus CD. Here is the biggest difference. Liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
How can I get to my money?
Yeah.
A CD is a certificate of deposit. It is a timed deposit. It is tied to a time frame. So a lot of times you see on some of the display boards and so forth, 6 months, 9 months, 14 months.
You're locking in.
You're locking in for a period of time. And if you need your money before the end of that period of time, then you're going to pay a penalty. And now the penalty is not uniform. Here's the thing. You think maybe same across all institutions and how they calculate it. It is not.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be sure before you say yes to a CD that you understand what the penalty period is, how it's calculated. Typically, you're giving back certain amount of interest during that period of time that you, if you break it before the time period of the actual contract ending. But sometimes it could be also interest and an actual penalty on top of. So you must read the paperwork, read it carefully. Now, second category, money market account. I said the difference is liquidity. A money market account is liquid at all times.
Completely liquid.
You need it tomorrow morning, you can go get it. You need it 5 weeks from now, you can go get it. There is no time lock-in period. So thinking about that, George, which one would you think would pay you more?
The CD.
Why?
Because you're locking in at a higher rate, or you're playing the market essentially. And so if you want access to your money, they're going to give you a lower rate for that. But if you're going to lock in, I think that guarantees you're playing the game, because you're assuming that in the 6 months of your locking in at that rate, there won't be that much difference, and you're guaranteeing yourself a percentage certain return on that CD.
Okay, you are right with all those things, but this is the way I typically explain it.
In a different way.
The CD, you are getting married. It's
okay, I like it.
Okay?
I like it. Go ahead.
And because you're getting married, you expect more.
Yes.
The money market is dating.
Yes.
Because it's dating, you expect a little bit less. Okay.
That's
right.
Straight to the
you
point.
Can leave anytime.
So you
the
made
money
me.
Market.
Yeah.
Whereas with the CD, to get out of it, it's going to cost you a lot. It's going to cost you a lot in the marriage to get out early. Okay.
I love it.
But you expect more because of the fact that you are making a commitment for a much longer period of time.
I love how you did that.
Okay. Thank you, George. So here's the thing, though, that it's a little bit of an anomaly right now.
Right.
This is the first time in many, many years that we actually have CD rates and money market rates trending at 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, okay, as far as the actual payout rate. But we have a little bit of an inversion in the CD market, this has to do with interest rates, where actually if you get out too far, if you got out very far long term, you might actually see CD rates a little bit less on the long-term basis than on the short-term basis because of market conditions. It's not a huge amount, but you might see that little bit of a dip, or what we call an inversion. But the most important thing to remember is this. If you have money sitting in your regular savings account, which is where we're going to go next, and you look at down at the bottom of the page and you see 0.39, 0.01, it's because it's being paid out at the savings bank rate, and that is the lowest rate in all of the scales of all of the cash positions that there are. So no matter what, you must look at what you can do to boost that rate, either through money markets or through CDs.
And I got to tell
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish that thought.
But there's a special little hole that I didn't talk about before, and that is there is a category that's rarely talked about, and that's the high yield savings account.
Go ahead.
Because many banks, and these are all FDIC covered products, have what are called high yield savings accounts, which actually have a trending level that is very close to, just slightly less than the money market account and slightly less than the CD, but has the same characteristics of a savings account. Here's the difference between a savings account, meaning a high yield savings account, and a money market. Many of the money market accounts, even though they are fully liquid, have minimum values for the checks that you write out of the money market account, whereas the savings account will have no restriction at all on how much you can take out at any point in time. It is a slight difference, but the money market accounts, some of them require that you can only take out $500 at a time versus $50, okay, or $25 that you can take out in your savings account. What were you about to say, George?
Well, I was going to say that I actually made that mistake. I had something sitting in an account for a purpose, and it was just sitting. And then just before I was about to use it for the purpose intended, I was alerted to this could have been sitting in a money market the whole time, right?
Yes,
so
right.
To your point, like I'm just reiterating, you do have to check. I was like, that's not what I said because I can't say it on the radio, but I was like, what the, right? But that was, I got caught out there with that.
Okay.
I absolutely did.
And it for all of us, because we're running and running and running, and we say, okay, the money is there in the bank, everything is okay and it's safe. I want you to make it a habit when you get your statement to open it up. It only takes 5 minutes, at least every couple of months. Open it up. Look at what the rate of return is that you're paying on, that's being paid on your cash. All right, here's the thing though that I didn't say concerning money market accounts versus CDs.
Mm-hmm.
CDs, the CD has a locked in rate. It is not going to change for the time period that the lock-in exists. On a money market rate or a money market account, it is a fluctuating rate. You say goodbye any day, I can change the terms any day. Okay? So, I can be happy, I can be sad, I can have attitude or not. I can change
see other
it
people?
every day.
Hey, Vicki, you want to see other people? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. It's gonna cost you a little. Okay. Okay. So it changes every day as far as the rate is concerned, based on whatever the Federal Reserve banking rate happens to be. Fortunately, we've been in a pretty nice, steady range, but you will see some fluctuation. Does that make it easier now, George?
It does.
Okay. So here's the thing: when you walk into, I first look to see what's happening with your excess cash. Check what the rates are. When you walk into the bank or you contact your bank and they ask you, do you want a CD or a money market or a high yield savings account? You now know exactly what the difference is and how to make that decision and make that choice. If you have questions, feel free to give me a call at area code 315-930-4499 or reach us at info@brackensfsn.com. Please subscribe and share and comment on this video and podcast. I'll say now, George, our plate is full.
Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and the registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's money maven.